Hello. So today we're going to be looking at the Lesson 5 problem set. Please notice these are quite lengthy problems with very little workspace. Therefore, you need to work these out on your own paper. You should have already done this. This is your check spot. So here's number 1. I'm going to work it out. These problems need to be done slowly and carefully. There's so many opportunities for errors, and if we make a mistake, we pretty much need to just start over because they're hard to trace sometimes when you have this many steps. Alright, so right now I've distributed once, now I'm going to distribute again. 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. And then on the side I'm going to do 3 over 1 times 1/3, which gives me 3/3, which is 1. So I'm just adding 1 here. The next step is to combine like terms. This is 1x, so 1x minus 9x is negative 8x plus 10 plus 11 equals 12x minus 6x is 6x plus 1. And then I can combine some more like terms here. Get negative 8x plus 21 equals 6x plus 1. Move all my variables to one side of the equation. Very careful with my signs. This is negative 14x plus 21 equals 1. I'm going to subtract 21 from each side, keeping that equation balanced. And I get negative 14x equals negative 20. Divide each side by negative 14. And x equals negative 20 over negative 14, which is 20 over 14, which is 10 over 7, which is 1 with 3 left over out of 7. So all of these are appropriate answers. And depending on the situation, you may need any one of these, but for our purposes, we'll use 1 3/7. And we're ready to start number 2. Just kind of folded my paper in half so I could hopefully fit 2 questions on a paper. Okay, so again, my first step here is going to be to distribute. So I'll have 7x plus 8 times x is 8x. 8 times 1/4 would be 8 over 4, which is 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 3 times 6x is 18x. 3 times negative 9 is negative 27. Okay, then I'm going to combine my like terms. 15x plus 2 equals 18x minus 35. Combine those. Let's get my paper up a bit. Okay. Then I have the need to move all of my variables to one side and all of my constants to the other. 18x minus 15x is 3x. Then I'll be adding 35 to each side. Going to get 37 is 3x. Divide each side by 3. And x is equal to, if I divide this, I'm going to get 12 with 1 left over out of 3. Uh-oh. 12 and 1/3. Make that all a little bolder. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Then we're ready to move on to question number 3. I went ahead and copied the problem down, and I see that, again, I have some distributing to do. I mean, maybe I need to circle this to remind myself I'm actually distributing the negative 2 and not just a 2. It's a common mistake. And then here, maybe I want to write the 1 in to remind myself I'm distributing a negative 1. Then I'll go ahead and distribute. Negative 2 times 8x is negative 16x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. And negative 1 times negative 10 is positive 10. I do have some like terms to combine. So negative 20x minus 2 equals 2x plus 10. Then I'm going to move all of my variables to one side of the equation. Doesn't matter which. Just all the variables on one side, and then you'll move all of the constants to the other side. So I have negative 22x equals 12. Divide by negative 22. And x equals 12 over 22, which would be 6 over 11. And that's as much as I can go. And I almost messed up on my sign because 12 divided by negative 22 is negative, which would mean my final answer is negative 6 over 11. Very detail-oriented problems here. So, for our next problem, I see that I could distribute, but because I know that 11 times 12 is 132, it's a fact that I know. What a mess. Okay. Since this is true, I could go ahead and just divide by 11 on each side. And we talked about this a few days ago, how it depends on what numbers you have. Sometimes it's easier to go ahead and divide first. And in this situation, I felt that it was. Now, had you decided to distribute and work it out that way, you would end up with the same result. Your work would look a little different, and that's okay, because both are sound mathematical ways of doing solving equations that have this type of setup. Okay, and this problem looks interesting. There's some fractions here, which always makes it a little more interesting. This is a negative 1 that I'll be distributing, and here I'll be distributing a 9. So 37x plus 1/2 minus x minus 1/4 equals 9 times 4 is 36x, 9 times 7 is 63. Then I'm going to combine my like terms. Let's see what I have. I have 37x minus x leaves me with 36x's. Then I have 1/2 minus 1/4. Maybe I need to do that on the side. Common denominators. Which will be 4. 2/4 minus 1/4 is 1/4. And I have more positives. 1/2 is bigger than 1/4. So, got plus 1/4 equals 36x, negative 63, positive 5. So that would be 63 minus 5. And let's see, 63 minus 5, 58. But I do have more negatives. So, minus 58. Now I'm going to move all my variables to one side. And at this point, I'm left with 1/4 equals negative 58. That is never true. Therefore, this equation has no solution. When you get down to these constants, and they have different values, they can't be equal to each other, and that's when we have no solution. Moving on to number 6. Looks like we need to distribute. This is negative 1. So I have 6x, 3/14. That might be a good use of our calculator. It's not that I couldn't do that. It's that we just want to use our time wisely. Okay, 15 plus 9x plus 5. Combine like terms. 15 and 5 make 20. Move all my constants to one side. Scoot this down a bit. Sorry about that. So negative 2x equals 62. Divide by negative 2. And x is negative 31. Scoot it down again. One more to go. The last question on this section for the problem set. And we've got 8 times 2x is 16x. 8 times 9 is 72. And there's only variables on one side, so that means I just need to move my constant to the other side. So 16x equals, let's see what 72 minus 56 is. And that is 16. And that would be negative because I had more negatives than positives. So x is negative 1. Now if you wanted to kind of sketch this part, you could go 56 to the right, and from there 72 to the left, and let you know you end up at negative 16. Just a little bonus. All right.